The 90 inserts have absolutely caught fire in all sports over the last, 12 months. And me being a huge Bonds collector, obviously that's the heyday is looking at for Bonds 90 inserts. And what I like to do is, even though they're not numbered cards, is to evaluate the print run. AI is perfect for this because it can actually do the calculations for you and come up with a pretty accurate, not guaranteed, but pretty accurate print run. And some of these, like early refractors, had total print runs of like 200, 250 cards total. And really low print runs on some of these refractors. So even though they're not numbered, they're very rare cards that I don't think people understand how rare they are. And that's why the value. So there was a lot of money to be made and continue to be made in some of these rare 90 inserts.
Hey, what's up? This is Dan McCabe here with Erik Sjolie in the Collectors Club AI podcast. So appreciate everybody for jumping on. Erik, I usually start these things, but this week, let's start with you. What's going on with you?
Yeah, no, I just getting ready. We got a busy summer ahead of us here, and I know in the hobby and the industry, it's a big time of the year with Fanatic Fest coming to New York here very shortly, and then followed by the Nationals in Chicago, which I know you and I will be at. So that'll be a very exciting time for you and I, and for Collectors Club AI in general. So a lot of big things happening on that front. But like always, there's always a lot of movement, and it's interesting to see kind of the movement in the hobby before these big events. They always call it the pre-national pump. I think you've probably heard that term before. And certain cards, certain segments of cards seem to catch fire in anticipation of the Nationals for whatever reason. There's theories on that, but you always see it. So obviously this year with World Cup, we've seen the soccer market absolutely catch fire, which we know it would, and that usually always happens during the World Cup. But one that I wanted to highlight today, which I know has been in the message boards and on the Facebook groups quite a bit, is what we're seeing happen over the last 30, 60 days in the Tom Brady market. So I don't know, Dan, I don't know. I know we were talking offline here, if you've been monitoring that at all.
No,
but it has been absolutely insane, and everyone doesn't really know where this came about or why, but the momentum is real. If you've looked at any of the closing transactions on his rookies, all his cards have seen mass increases lately, but specifically his flagship rookies. And what I'm talking about are like the Bowman and the Bowman Chrome that you most commonly see, that's gone absolutely insane lately. So I don't have the exact statistics in front of me, but I know it's close to, doubled or tripled over the last, 6 to 12 months. Most recently, every sale that you see close is at a new all-time high. So I know the PSA 10 and the Bowman Chrome, I believe just like yesterday, the day before, closed over 40,000, and the paper one's quite a bit up there in value as well. So, I'm on the message boards. I'm seeing it. There's a lot of people that go, it's shell bidding, and people are just trying to pump it for the Nationals. These are actually, confirmed closes, paid closes. I know there's a lot of other people now that are searching for Brady rookie. So I know there's a lot. The FOMO is real. People are afraid of this might have been the window to have it before it gets up there. And there's just been a lot of talk anyways. I mean, you see some of these GOATs for whatever reason, and you hear the term undervalued for a long period of time. Now, Tom Brady, obviously his playing career was incredible. His lineup of Super Bowl championships and all the accolades that he's gotten might not ever be matched. And for whatever reason, though his stuff was valuable, just probably wasn't the level that you would see like the Michael Jordan in basketball and things of that sort. A lot of people are saying it's just about time. It's about time that we're finally seeing his prices catch up to where they should be, which might make for a sustainable market. I mean, a lot of, some people are saying, oh, they'll come down. But you've seen kind of the movement. I mean, Michael Jordan cards are doing a similar thing right now. I don't know if you've been monitoring his 86 Flair. That thing's back up to over $300,000 or $400,000 as well, where it got down to, after COVID, it got down to like $100,000 or $90,000. So we're seeing it back to the peak COVID prices too. So there's that whole GOAT debate, and I think people are really putting money in those blue chip GOAT marketplaces, and I think that's what we're really seeing right now happening with Brady. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I've never been a big Brady collector. I don't know if I own any Tom Brady cards, to be honest, but you mentioned Jordan
Mistake. Just kidding.
Well, you mentioned Jordan there at the end, and I've got a lot of Jordan cards.
There you go.
So, hey,
that's a good place to have a collection.
But I just happened to look because I got a PSA 7 86 Fleer, so I took a quick glance while you were talking there. And I hadn't looked at it in a little while, but I remember when we were out in Dallas just a few months ago, that PSA 7, I saw them going for around 9,000, which was
Mm-hmm.
significantly shot up from, it was kind of like hovering around 6 to 8,000 for a really long time. They're at 9,000 a couple months ago when we were out at the Dallas show. I just looked and they're going on eBay right now for about 14 grand sold
Mm-hmm.
recently, which I mean, same idea. It's probably the same thing that's happening with the Brady cards. It's just anybody in that GOAT debate, they're all just spiking right now. People are starting to realize, and we talked about this a little bit on the last episode, I believe, but they're starting to realize that you can't put the crazy big money in the latest maybe good rookie NFL quarterback, which is what people do over and over and over
I was
again.
gonna say
And
you can, and they still will. I mean, that's a American pastime right now. Is every rookie class where people just speculate and dump so much money, and it's
oh,
like who's the race to the bottom at that point? Who's gonna be holding the bag when they don't come
yeah,
to fruition?
so there's so many of them, but I think people are realizing you want to get to the best of the best, and if you want to actually have a store value, if you're making it for an investment, something you want to hold long term, you need to buy the players that are going to last long term. And I mean, it's easy. It's Brady, it's Jordan, it's Messi, it's Gretzky. It's those types of players. And I glanced, I just happened to check the other day while we were in Dallas just 2 months ago. And obviously, you and I talked about the soccer market a little bit. But when we were there, I remember I bought one of the Mega Cracks Messi rookies, the portrait one. I think I showed it a couple episodes ago in a SGC 8, I believe it was. I think I paid 2 grand for it. I mean, that thing, due to the World Cup and the soccer market exploding right now and it being Messi, those things are going for 4,500 all over the place. I mean, that was 2 months. So we're seeing a spike in goats kind of across the
It
board.
doesn't help that Messi has like 7 or 8 goals in this World Cup as well. So and his team's still in
And,
it.
and I showed you that picture the other day. I was there. Although I was at the one
Yeah,
game where Messi did not score. But
yep, you
fortunately,
jinxed him.
hey, maybe, but me and my 9-year-old, we have a lot of soccer cards, and our other two favorite players for Argentina, Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez, they both scored in overtime. So, and they scored right in front of us. They were down on our end of the field, so it was one of the best experiences ever. If you can find a way
Yeah,
to a World
that's
Cup game,
awesome.
it is insane. Getting out of there is a nightmare, but the actual game itself is insane in the lead up.
Yeah.
So I guess just to
So do
kind
you
of
see that? Do you see that being with the recent movement? And let's like you just mentioned the goats in general. I highlighted Brady, but goats and you can even throw. I was just looking at LeBron cards right now. I mean his topps chrome 10 is probably doubled in the last 2 years as well. I mean it looks like it's up to like 15, 16,000 as well. But do you see that being kind of people transition more aggressively to that, or do you still think it's going to be the same ebbs and flows where the next rookie class comes out and you're going to have people like me that have heavily invested Trey Lance collections that are worth absolutely nothing now? And yes, I felt targeted when you made that comment, but do you see that being the situation, or do you see like, hey, this is finally come to where everyone is the OGs have always said is just buy the goats, hold the value. And then again on that, like even look at the Brady's, all the grades are seeing that tremendous increase. So it's not
oh, it's
even
crazy.
the high value copies of the nines or tens. I mean the 5, 6, 7s, 8s, like I said, the chrome and the paper copy across the board. It's just you're seeing a bump. There's value everywhere right now as far
The
as
Jordan
long term holds.
9, the 86 Flair 9 was the most underrated card I thought that was out there a couple of years ago. You could routinely see them out on the marketplace for like 15 grand, maybe 18 grand. And I think I saw one the other day around 50 or something like that. But still, to me, it's criminal versus the tens and the value they're getting. Like, how are they going for
8x.
70% less?
Yeah.
80% less than the tens. Like it didn't make sense to me.
But you
Um,
see that with everything, though. The difference between 9 and 10 on any card is substantial. That 10 carries a monster
yeah.
premium.
But that particular card in that age, I mean, you look at the Messi Mega Cracks rookie, kind of depending on the card and the card stock and everything, but I always found that one to be incredibly interesting. And I don't have it in front of me, but the pop reports on that Messi Mega Cracks rookie, there's three different ones. I don't remember exactly which one is which. I could look them up here while we're talking, but the primary one, the most expensive one, there's less than 1,000 copies graded, and there's minimal tens. I gotta look it up now, just out of sheer curiosity here, what the pop report was. It just always shocked me how low it really was. So looking up here, a 4 is going for 11.5 on eBay right now. The total PSA population of his rookie card, a 2004 card, is only 1,000, which
Yeah.
I think is bonkers. I don't know
Well, so
why.
that 2000, 2010 print
There,
runs were low anyways in all sports cards, but especially soccer. I mean, that just wasn't a premier collectible at that time.
right. There's only 20 that are graded a 10. 57 nines. I mean, the small population of those cards, I mean, it's something that I like to look out for. Is I think pop reports are incredibly important with a lot of cards. And when you start looking at these modern era cards and maybe you get a one of one, but they make 1,000 different one of ones, it's just kind of a different ball game
Yeah,
to
not
me
even just pop
altogether.
reports though, because people play games with cracking slabs and resending
Yep.
them in. So pop reports can sometimes get skewed a little bit. I look at print runs. So even like when another area that we've seen monster, you and I were talking offline before is the 90 inserts, right? The 90 inserts have absolutely caught fire in all sports over the last 12 months. And me being a huge Bonds collector, obviously that's the heyday is looking at for Bonds 90 inserts. And what I like to do is, even though they're not numbered cards, is to evaluate the print run. AI is perfect for this because it can actually do the calculations for you and come up with a pretty accurate, not guaranteed, but pretty accurate print run. And some of these like early refractors had total print runs of like 200, 250 cards total, and
Mhm.
really low print runs on some of these refractors. So even though they're not numbered, they're very rare cards that I don't think people understand how rare they are, and that's why the value. So there was a lot of money to be made and continue to be made in some of these rare 90 inserts, some of these undervalued not only collections but players and all that as well. So yeah, so I look
Yeah.
at pop reports, but I also look at the print runs.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying about pop reports. I know they get manipulated. People crack them. They don't report cracking them. That happens, but you can still tell if it's a relatively low number. I
Sure,
mean, I don't know
sure.
how many were cracked of the Messi 2004 mega cracks, but even with that, 1,000 total graded of a 2004 card, only 2010s. Those are pretty low numbers for a relatively modern era card. I'm looking at the Jordan pop report here, the 86, 87 Fleer, and over 30,000 are graded, 333 tens. So there's just such significantly more demand
Demand
for
for it.
them.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's a relatively big number, and they're still showing up all the time. And Jordans, you got to be careful because there've been all kinds of scams around that 86 Jordan.
Oh,
Um,
counterfeiting is huge on that 86. So
I would
so many
never
counterfeits out
buy
there.
a raw one. I don't know. It would make me nervous. It would come
Oh
with
yeah, I wouldn't
conditions
buy.
that I would have to know the person.
Yeah, you're also seeing that with the Brady rookie too, by the way. There's a lot of counterfeiting of the Brady rookie going on. So whenever you get those goats that are just so sought after in demand, the counterfeiters are gonna come calling to try to create some money in that place.
Well, I want to run something by you here while we are live on camera. I mentioned this before the call, but you kind of alluded to it here just a second ago about the wave of 90s inserts, and the value and how much they're increasing lately, which I agree with. I mean, my favorite card that I recently bought, sitting right up here in one of my wall cases, is I think it's a 91, the Jordan Beam Team card. Maybe it's
Yeah.
92, whatever it was, but I bought a Jordan Beam Team card, a Beckett 8.5. Love that card because I love that card. I love Jordan, but I'm 48 years old. I grew up in that era. I am one of the people that is right that Jordan's the greatest player of all time, and it's not LeBron. But that card is super ridiculously cool to me. But the fear I'm having right now, watching all of these cards go up so much, and then talking to my 17-year-old son about this, is that right now these cards are all spiking. These are the goats to us that are in our mid 40s, 50s, 60s. We have the money to go out there and buy these cards right now. We think that they're super cool because we could never afford them when we were a kid. We are driving up the market, and eventually, as we age out of the hobby, which will happen to all of us at some point, are my kids going to care? Is the younger generation going to care about the 90s inserts that are spiking so heavily right now?
So a couple things to look at, and that's a valid question. One is Mickey Mantle's still one of the safest investments out there.
Mhm.
Willie Mays, Satchel Paige, all those greats, Babe Ruth. I never saw Babe Ruth. He was dead well before I was ever born.
Right.
But that was my absolute grail card to ever achieve. And I felt like I still remember the day I got my Babe Ruth card was an amazing moment for me and my collection journey. So I think the GOATs will always be the GOATs. But now we got a couple things. Like I just mentioned, a lot of those 90 inserts, the Prince runs were very low because it was right after the junk wax era. So a lot of these card companies were already lowering print runs anyways, and that's why they came with these inserts. And a lot of them are like 100 to 200, 300. I mean, some of them will have bigger print runs, but a lot of them are really low print runs. So their scarcity is going to be there. The third part is, I think now in future generations, the way the internet and social media and TikTok and YouTube videos are available, these players are going to be more and more relevant than like players of the past for you and I that were generations before us. I mean, if you even look right now, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Charles Barkley, these guys are, announcing, they're in the media. They're still, Jordan shoes are still the most popular brand in the world. I mean, it's just, young kids right now still want Air Jordan shoes. And even though they never saw him play. So I think that's going to carry where there is still going to be a demand for people that never saw these players actually play because the video content is going to keep them so relevant in front of them. And the way sports integrate athletes now as announcers and I mean, just the home run derby last night. Guess who was there with Netflix doing the announcing? Mr. Barry Bonds. So, you see that too. So you see all these players coming back and it's just like, oh man. So that conversation happened. You might have had a father-son watching the home run derby, and the father got all excited about Barry Bonds,
Right.
and the son's like, "Wait, what's the deal with him?" That father pulls up YouTube, shows some clips of Bonds being the most feared hitter of all time and the greatest hitter of all time. I don't care. We could say that right now. It's like you said, Jordan's the GOAT. And real quick now, that little 6 or 7-year-old boy is going to change his mind and know a little bit more about Barry Bonds. So I think I'm not as concerned about a peak from that standpoint, from a generational standpoint. I think technology and all that's just changing the game on that.
I think it could to a degree, and I hear what you're saying, and I will, I think they're all valid points. And I think there's some of us that try to, I don't want to say we force it on our kids, but my oldest son who loves baseball, plays baseball, he's into collecting. He's not quite as passionate as I tend to be about it, but I got him into the vintage cards early. And when he was, first getting into collecting, buying modern, I was helping him sell some of his modern stuff, and for whatever reason, he got into Roberto Clemente. So I had him go learn, the history of Roberto Clemente a little bit, and you're like, you want to collect his cards? Great, and spin up your modern cards to Clemente. But I also think that I'm a unique breed, and there's not a lot of us out there that are doing that with our kids, trying to keep the history of baseball alive. Baseball is an interesting sport, and that's probably a huge topic for a whole nother episode on what does baseball look like now versus 10 years from now. They got a CBA agreement coming up here after this season that they're going to have to deal with. Do they implement salary caps? Do things change? I don't know. Modern baseball is very different than vintage baseball, but we're getting off topic there completely. So
Well, you could have said that with the 80s and 90s and the Babe Ruth era, right? So
right.
that's the beauty of baseball. It's always been about evolution. Raising the mound, changing pitches, allowing pitchers to, find that edge with glue and all that stuff, not doing it. I mean, it's always been that. Different bats, and that's what it's always been about.
Different supplements.
Yeah,
So the
absolutely.
I agree with the GOAT strategy. I've thought about the GOAT strategy a lot, and it's something I think about for my own PC. Like, I can't say I've been able to do it, but I would love to get my PC down to just a couple small boxes of cards that I really, really like. And I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, I think, but I was talking to a dealer at the National last time I was there, and he just had the world's greatest collection I'd ever seen. And I'm like, when do you stop? And he just kind of laughed or whatever. And then I was like, well, if you got one piece of advice for my kid, what would you give him? And he basically said just that: less pieces, buy the rare stuff, always work your way up to smaller amount of things, because when your collection gets so big and so valuable and you have so many cards, then you have all these external factors you got to worry about with security. How do you keep them safe? Humidity, temperature conditions wherever you're at, and he's just insurance. He said it's just a whole nother ball game when you're
It just starts cluttering everything. Yeah.
So I would love to get it down to less GOAT cards, but when we were down in Dallas, I picked up my Cy Young card, I figure Cy Young's always going to be a GOAT. So, like, they named the trophy after him. And
Yeah,
if I'm going to buy a T206 card, I think that's a good one to own.
absolutely. So circling back then, so to get back to markets in general, and when you see certain market segments or certain players catch fire and cards drastically increase very quickly. For a lot, that might be a time to sell and capitalize on gains. But a lot of collectors that have big collections or maybe not have the pulse on the market as well or just super busy might miss some of those waves. I mean, much like you weren't fully aware of what's been going on in the Brady market, and you're very deep in the, in the industry and the hobby. Obviously, you're running this Collectors Club AI, so that just speaks on how certain things can be missed. So I think it's appropriate, and one of the features I love most about Collectors Club AI that I think is a nice highlight to pipe in here because I think it's important to talk about is the AI functionality to help people with their inventory and alert them when there is movement in certain players or certain cards that they own in their inventory on either a reprice or listing in general. There's going to be optionality there to say, hey, Dan, have you seen the Brady market? You have these 10 cards and they've gone up 27% in the last 6 months. Might give you a good option to say, do I want to sell? Do I want to hold? I mean, you'll be able to make those decisions. But I do think that's a very unique piece that I know no other software in the hobby does. That's going to allow people to not miss opportunities that some of them just might miss because there's just so much going on and so many markets and life's busy and all the above. So from the common collector up to enterprise people.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, and that's kind of why we create it that way. Because I look around at my own collection, which is good, but I know other people, especially dealers, have much larger collections. But you get so much volume, and you have so many thousands of cards. Like monitoring and tracking pricing of all of that at any given time is almost impossible. And I think a lot of people that have a lot of success in this hobby, they do niche down to certain things. I mean, there are people, I am sure, that just buy and sell Brady cards. I mean, that has to exist out there. If I were to do that, it would probably be my Yogi Berra cards. I mean, I knew that market inside and out, especially while I was building out that piece of my collection. But that's what the AI and the idea was when we originally started conceiving Collectors Club AI, was one, being able to put your entire collection in to a platform and then have it give you those insights for all those individual cards, even the ones that you're not individually tracking. But the way we have it set up now with the AI CEO agent that comes a part of everybody's platform is that as you train it, and as, like, for me, as it understands how much I like Yogi and I'm looking for Yogi and things like that, it will specifically learn and understand the markets that you specifically want to play in and help you optimize that. And
will make you so much more efficient in that marketplace.
and what I really think it's going to do, it's going to even the playing field a little bit. And that's just part of what AI does these days. It evens the playing field for the everyday collector to, some of the big time dealers that are out there, the people that have really been deep in the hobby. Like, we're able to shorten that learning curve that some people got just from decades of experience. We're able to shorten that down into a fraction of the time just by the technology that's out there right now. And sorry, people that have been around for decades, learning and understanding every nuance of the hobby and how to do things. I mean, obviously, they're going to have some things that the new person might not have, but it's just the reality of the world we live in. And if we're not using this tech these days, we're doing it wrong. Like, it exists and it's there for us. We might as well. So yeah, I'm excited. We're going down to National. We did a kind of a soft launch, learning launch, we'll call it, down at Dallas. Learned a ton. Came back through the month of June, completely overhauled basically everything based off of what we learned down in Dallas. And we're just putting the finishing touches on a lot of things right now. And we should be good to go. And we'll be providing tons of discounted accounts, free trials, extended free trials, and things like that for people to get in and really start utilizing the application and learning how to make it work for them, their collection, their business, whatever it is, whether it's just their business or they buy and sell cards to build up their own collection. I'm excited for all that. I'm really excited for the community aspect that we're putting together as well right inside of the app. So just so many cool things going on right now. It's a fun time to be getting this involved inside the hobby. I've been around software for a long time. I've been around the hobby for a long time. Being able to combine these two passions in one has been, it's way more fun. Way more fun than the other software I used to build. I can promise you that.
It's exciting times, and I'm excited for the community to actually get in and touch, feel, and play with what we've been building behind the scenes. I just think it's going to bring so much tremendous value from the part-time small collector that just rips a few packs with their kids that want to catalog their inventory and collection and keep track of it just on their own, to the dealers, all the way to, the multi-card shops, online store presence. I know we're not going to full detail of all the bells and whistles that we have, but to see a one-stop shop software that can do everything they would ever need to run this business efficiently and to come across very professional and just create not only a vendor experience, but a client experience for people that buy from them or just cataloging their stuff. It's going to be really neat. So I'm excited for the National, because I think that's really where we're going to get some major traction here. So anyone that's listening to this, get on your free trial now. Let's get in here. Let's break a few things. Let's have some fun, and let's build the community, because that's the one thing that we're building this around is the community. So we're not going to be corporate techie America. We're going to have all the firepower there for that, but we're not going to lose focus of why we're all in this, is because we love sports, we love memories, we love cards, we love the hobby, we love the community, and that's really all the fabrics that's interwoven into this company and why we're creating it. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Chicago is going to be, let's just say, the coming out party for Collectors Club AI, and it's going to be fast and the furious after that. So yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, completely exciting times. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with quite a few things there. The community piece, probably the part I'm looking forward to the most. Software is cool. The software is great, but at the end of the day, it's getting these collectors back in. I mean, you and I connected over a passion of the hobby, and then we started talking about this software and this idea and this concept and building this out, but it's getting people together. This is one of the greatest communities, I guess, that there is, because as soon as I mention around my circles that we're building this, the number of people that want to support, be a part of it, that want to help, people just love being a part of things. And especially when it comes to the hobby, it's just fun. Everybody enjoys it. It's for the people that are in it. It's a deep passion. It's not, nobody really just wades through this hobby. People, if they're in it, they're in it.
Well, it's tying emotions, pastime, memories. Sports have always been part of our human DNA. I mean, we've loved competition in sports. So it just ties all that into a memorable piece now. And then you have the markets, now the grading to create baseline values, the scarcity, the hunt. I mean, all the above. It cuts into all of it, and it's an enjoyable ride.
Sure. We have all kinds of nostalgia stories I'm sure we could get into, but we'll save those for another episode. So,
but before we end, I do want to throw one softball to you, because I know you love soccer, and I get to see the beloved Leeds United in Chicago as well, which I think you're going to be joining me for that game, because they're going to be playing an exhibition match in Chicago when we're there for the National. But I would be remiss to not mention, and I've expanded my collection. I never collected soccer cards, but I got into the World Cup hype myself, and me having my background, my family heritage from Norway, and having really someone that took the world by storm. I know he's been great for a long time, but I think USA in general really got to know him this World Cup. So I don't think any player's stock increased more than the Viking Prince himself, Erling Haaland. So this is a guy that I've been like, now I'm going to start getting the goats for me and start getting his cards. So I've been on a buying spree trying to acquire some of his early rookies and some of his unique inserts. But I'm not the only one. So I'm one of thousands of people right now that are driving up his prices. So his market's been much like all the really good soccer performers. There you go. Is that the Kaboom?
No.
That middle one? What is that one?
These are just some lower end Hollands. They're sitting on my desk.
Oh, I didn't. What's that middle one? That silver one. What one was that?
This Power Players.
Oh, Power Players. I got you. Okay. Yeah. So it's
these are just some that were sitting here. I mean, we're putting together a huge stash of soccer cards to bring out to the National. Just a lot of five
Yeah.
and $20 cards along with, some of the big stuff.
Super fun though. Super fun to see the personalities of these players come out globally. That's been really a unique experience for me with this World Cup being the United States. Getting to see not only the fan base in the cities, but see these individual players and their personalities come from a different background, a different region, a different country, and how it plays out and how it translates over. So I know he's one of the players that, USA has fell in love with, I would
Oh,
say.
yeah. It's fun.
Soccer
I mean,
fans and non-sports fans. Yeah, he's fun and he's unique looking out there. He's a big guy. He plays fierce when he's playing. I mean, everything you want to see, it's there, and he seems like a really
he's a
nice guy.
fun,
So,
goofy personality. I don't know if you've seen some of his interviews
oh
and
yeah,
things like that. I
oh
mean,
yeah. I've seen
I
all of his
think,
posts on social media. He's hilarious.
and then I don't know who I was talking to, but he kind of reminds me of Thor in a way. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, I mean,
just got that look
he's
about him.
exactly what you would think of a Norway person, right? He has a top knot, the long hair, just big, tall, muscular guy. I mean, exactly what you would think depicted in history. And he just rolls out there, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I was watching some of his training videos too. Just the way he trains is intense and
Yeah,
insane.
he takes the Tom Brady approach.
Yeah, but I think he's a good example. I mean, there's going to be players that Holland's been around for a while, so I think he's
Yep,
going to be relevant for a while. I mean, it's kind of a coming out party to casual or less than casual
correct. Or the
fans.
United States, exactly.
But he's somebody that we've collected now for a while. But there's plenty of players that kind of made their mark in the World Cup. Some of them are going to see real spikes and then they're going to disappear. But I think Holland will be okay for a while. I know we were
Yeah.
talking prior to this. I've got tons of like Lamine Yamal cards. I got this Monopoly card numbered 199 or something like that. Like cards like that. I mean, we'll probably try to move that here at the National. Yamal didn't have the greatest World Cup, but for the real soccer fans that have been around, he came out and energized them for sure in that second game, scoring that first goal that game. And he was a little quiet in the World Cup, but he's still relevant. He's still young.
Sure.
He was injured 3 months leading up to the World Cup. He took the last 3 months off of his club season.
Well, he's super young, too.
But, oh yeah, I think he just turned 19.
Yeah.
He's in his
So,
second World Cup. Like, I mean, kid's got a very bright future. They're in the semifinals right now. In fact, I think
yeah, they're playing right
as
now.
of recording this, one of those games is just starting.
Yep.
So now would be an appropriate time for us to hop off because I got to go watch a World Cup game, Eric.
There you go. Absolutely.
We'll be back. Let's come back here in a week or so. We'll do this again. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The first few episodes, I've actually been really excited to see the numbers start popping on them a little bit. I mean, for just kind of starting out and not really putting it out there yet. We've been pretty quiet, laying in the weeds still, waiting for the software to get completed, roll that out. But we've just kind of been filling
Yep.
in the YouTube channel and to see, I mean, somehow word's getting around already, which is great. And we're getting views kind of coming out of somewhere. So I think that's
Yep.
fantastic. So excited about all that, excited about the National, what we got coming up. And with this episode here, we will throw a link down in the description here. So make sure you like, subscribe, and click on the link and get your free trial to Collectors Club AI. You will be able to go in there. You'll be able to test and play around. There's a lot you can do with it's not even a free trial. It's a free account. So you can get a free account, which allows you to do so much. And then if you want more advanced features or you want to utilize and play with the AI more, then yeah, you're going to have to pay something, but that's kind of the reality of the world. But you can get in there and do a ton for free. So I would encourage you to go in.
We
do
want you
that.
to break it.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
we
break
want
it.
people to get in there and break it and stress it, and that's how we're going to improve this thing and make this the best software on the marketplace.
And when you break it, reach out to us and tell us what you broke, and we'll fix it. And we'll probably give you something for letting us know what you broke, because that's how we're going to make it better.
So that would be better than going to the message boards and blasting us. Is that a
Right.
correct statement?
So
Yeah.
understand that we're just launching. Let us know, and we can fix things. I mean, the nice thing
Yeah.
here is that we are very hands-on. Well, I'm very hands-on with the actual development and the development team here, and we can change and fix things as we go here a little bit. But we want to work with you guys. I mean, I want this software to be for the collectors. I mean, the collectors, the smaller dealers, people that want to build up their collection, their business. Like, this is for you guys. Technology's here. It's easy to use. Take advantage of it.
So you're saying like Collectors Club AI is for the people, by the people? Is that what I shot from the hip there?
It is. Yeah, I would say it is.
For the hobby, by the hobby. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we've had all kinds of fun taglines. Making the hobby fun again. Making the hobby profitable again. Just all kinds of goofy stuff we've been working on here. But anyways, jump on in. We'll see you there.
Yep.
Appreciate you as always, Eric. Till next week. We'll talk
Yep.
again.
Go get your Brady's. You might be missing the boat. It's a real deal. The climb's fast. He's getting where he should be.
Don't try to sell me. I'm a sucker. So, all
Yep.
right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good one. Bye, guys.